chat, Jund Food. Just one of the big bads from formats past that gained a new card from Historic Horizons in Ravenous Squirrel. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact or creature, put a 1/1 counter on this. Sacrifice an artifact creature, you gain 1 life and draw a card. So this is super powerful. It triggers when you sacrifice food to geese. When you Witch's Oven a cat, this gets +2/+2. So like you can play this on 1 and then turn 2, go Oven, cat, make this a 3/3 and attack in addition to draining them for 2. So just this is going to enable a lot of really aggressive starts. And then Trail of Crumbs gives this archetype an incredible amount of grind alongside Korvold as the game goes along. Korvold, notably one of those standard legal but in a Brawl deck cards that they designed very carefully to not be constructed playable, so naturally it's a 4 of. In this historic deck, it is incredibly powerful while doing so. We have Mayhem Devil as another payoff for as we sacrifice things, as well as Binding of the Old Gods, which is a powerful removal spell that's notably a permanent, so Trail of Crumbs can search it up out of our deck. And this deck even gets to leverage the 3rd chapter on Binding of the Old Gods, because giving Mayhem Devil Death Touch lets you basically kill their entire board in most situations. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how it goes. My schedule for the week, for people that don't follow me on Twitter, by the way, I'm planning to take all or most of Wednesday off. I might do a small amount of variety on Wednesday if we don't finish Batman between today and Tuesday, but I'm going to be off Magic on Wednesday. We're going to do a little bit of Historic again tomorrow morning, and then all day Thursday and Friday we're going to be doing New Standard with Rotation, and then Sunday is the Open. This is good enough, I think. Hey, congrats, Strange Journey. I don't know how much side stuff I'm going to be doing in Batman based on trying to finish it up before Thursday. I've also heard very mixed things about the side stuff in Batman. Hey, settle in, fam. It's gonna be a slog. Strange Journey. Thanks for sharing around some of your success. I appreciate the gifties. I don't ever need second red in this deck, right? Firefox MC. Thanks for the prime. My body is ready for this Binding of the Gods to get memory lapse, and then Archmage is charmed.
Hurry.
You should be able to leave it blank, Alec. Also, if you're submitting something for standard right now that you'd like to see built today, just go ahead and donate using the tip button there, or cheer the bits in chat. Just put in the comment what you'd like to see built. That's true. That's accurate. We technically did not get memory lapsed. Glass half full. Parry the person. Thanks for the prime. Howdy, howdy. Charm in 3 colors is so greedy. Not really. They have a lot of blue lands. All right. Well, we got to draw a bunch of cards here because Korvold resolved. Is that going to be enough to grind us through their Teferi is the question. I get to draw 2 more cards with the Cauldron Familiar loop at end of turn here.
Time for a break.
So obviously this means the cat gets Wrath of Godded, but it also lets me draw another land. Sorry, I meant another card. Goose is like a slightly better land. Ever so slightly. They are down to 10. Worth noting here.
Hurry.
Shark Typhoon be cycling for... Yikes. My body is ready to get gear hulked. And even have 3 mana up for Charm/Lapse. Well, this is a really good draw, assuming spells I cast could resolve. Well, you know. Hey, thanks for the 14 months, Eric. Welcome back. I think we just trim Gilded Goose here, huh? We have 25 lands. They just want higher action density. I'll bring in a bunch of extra threats here and things that grind our threats back into play. By the way, if you were coming in late and didn't see the going live notification, we had an installment of... Meta Monday this morning. So if you didn't keep track of the tournaments that happened over the weekend, there's a good summary there of what went on in Historic. This hand's pretty good. Let's stick Klothys into play with these. The summary is, the TLDR is the format is relatively balanced. There were a number of decks that attacked Jeskai in an appropriate manner, and I would not expect any bannings or changes in the format from a balance perspective. I think we're just supposed to get memory lapse, and we're supposed to take their 2 pieces of card advantage. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Here I am to meet with you again. I don't agree with your analysis because it doesn't line up with my feelings. Yep. You know what they say, chat? 3rd time's the charm. Dwight! With the 64 buds. God, that's a long time. It's been a minute. What was it? Christy, I looked up the other day my first SCG Open top 8. And it turns out my venture into competitive Magic started 9.5 years ago at this point. Which that hit hard, chat. 9.5 years ago is a long time. Oh, I forgot. This is actually a pretty big punt. I forgot we effectively have a triple green card in our deck. So I can't haste this turn because of my mana sequencing. It's a fairly sizable mistake. It's my favorite deck I've played over the years. Probably Temur Flash, circa Innistrad RTR. Yeah, so I just like straight up missed. I've missed 10 points of damage because of my mana sequencing at this point. Steve, you have been following the channel since January 11th, 2019, it says.
I won't hide from the world any longer.
Competitive Magic hasn't existed for 9 years, and sub 41 is still cool. I had some Blink 182 playing on the radio while I was driving the children. Oh, the kids and I were going to the park this weekend, and Jacob was attempting to sing along with it, and it just warmed my cold, dead heart. Yeah, this is pretty good. Thoughtseize into Trail's a solid 1-2 here. All the small things. Truth cares. Light brings. This is why Wellspring is not in my deck. They played an untapped land, chat. Holy shit, we didn't get memory lapse. Oh, they're just cycling this. God bless. I think I'm just eating this food and drawing a card. Amazon Canada is going to be setting their starting wage to $21.65 or approximately $3.50 US. A lot of the bigger companies know which way the wind is blowing and have already moved up their minimum wage in a lot of places, which is good to see. Like Amazon's mid in the United States is 15 already, right? A lot of other bigger companies are at that point now. Not that they're any less evil giant corporations, but at least they understand which direction the wind is going. Oh yeah, we're probably gonna get Gear Hulked here, right? Good news is Ceratops doesn't get blocked by Gear Hulked or killed by Opus, so we've got that going for us. Minimum wage where I live in Illinois, I believe is $11 currently. It's set to scale up to 15 over the course of the next couple of years, and like the Taco Bell in town is already paying 14 an hour. My 14-year-old son makes 15 an hour at the local Burger King. Yep. Oh, look! The squirrel gets bigger when you sacrifice it to itself. Of course, Ent. Good morning. Well, we have to kill Teferi.
Really should have seen that coming.
Kinda seeing in action this game why the opponent's deck is very polarized in a strong manner against the archetype that we're playing. This was an almost 60-40 matchup based on the metrics we had. These two decks were the most popular decks in Magic tournaments this weekend for Historic. And the opponent's archetype was almost a 60% favorite. I mean, yeah, I guess. Dead to lightning, Helix, baby. Kill me! Oh, Beansy, I missed your Bant Stowwalker. Yep, I'll get that one. Get that one added too. Let me keep this, right? Goose and a Trail of Crumbs gives a ton of selection. Juggalos, thanks for 32 months. Good morning. Thanks for the Prime Waterfalls. Keep Zads at bay. Yeah, Innistrad Thursday isn't tough. So double Hinchland Harbor Spell Pierce, probably Merfolk. Looks like it. Now, chat. Jeskai is only 30% of 25% of the format or whatnot. Wow, second Spell Pierce is really brutal. Merfolk is real. I think the Merfolk deck is very good. Rook, you can find my preferred list on my website. Which Jeskai Control. Control's a little over 20% of the format, and then creativity is another like 5 to 6%. Yeah, it's up on my website with the YouTube video. Yes, a lot of people have been meaning Pierce, which is fine. So if you check out Meta Monday from this morning, we talk about the difference between Gear Hulk metrics and non-Gear Hulk metrics, and if that's a metric that makes a difference to meaningfully pull out. It's about a 10-minute video that's worth ducking over to YouTube to see if you didn't watch it live this morning. So we could Fatal push Sea and Sky here, but we would not be happy with the results, so I'm not going to do that. It is a legal target, though. Yeah, their double spell pierce has definitely won them this game if we can't draw anything. The Trail of Crumbs that got countered would have let us power through this flood. But had a lot of flood out and die so far this set. Yeah, no Mayhem Devils or anything like that here. Subpar Nova, thanks for the 21 months. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. There are a lot of lords. You get to trade with one of them here, thankfully. One Mayhem Devil, please. Even that's probably not good enough. This is where the magic happens. Yeah, the ward is quite good against the devil. We want to cut here. I feel like I want all these removal spells. What's the trim is the question. Yes, protection from their creatures seems good. Squirrel's a big blocker. It also gives us a way to sacrifice something to this. Well, Cat's not a big blocker. Cat's just gets in the way. Yeah, it could be Goose, and then maybe we trim some of the trails here. Like, I have Korvold's extra card advantage, too. And, like, 2 of them getting countered every single turn isn't... Every single game isn't the average, I don't think. Yeah, the way that game went, they might leave Spell Piercing, though, yeah. This hand's great. This binding a little slow. It is slow, but it's also a removal spell that Trail of Crumbs can find. But that might just not be good enough. Oh, I forgot to loop the cat. We just devil. Hey, Alec. Thanks for the tip. Here's for Blue Red Giants. Sounds good. They just had nothing on 2. That seems great for us. In response before this gets ward. It could be right to offer the trade Devil for Sea and Sky. Got our Eldraine engine going here, ready to pippity pop off. So, no 2-drop and then no play here on 4, so almost assuredly they have a collecting company. Just go ahead and do this. Just keep sending these upstairs. And this is why, a draw like this is why I played the forest out last turn, because now I can have triple green to play the Ceratops with haste on our next turn if we want that to be an option. I'm not going to attack here because, again, expecting company. Are they gonna company again here? They must be, right? No? Okay, deal. So I cycled the cap before they untap the ooze. Yes. It was a mistake on my part. I think that was they're just used to their thing passively having indestructible and they were confused that it didn't. Most of the time it's indestructible in that deck, right? Like you just passively have other fish in play. Seems fine. I just put this into play tapped. There could be some merit to discussing doing it untapped. So that way if they like play a Lord, I want a Fatal Push and then I draw a 2-drop, but it's a little bit narrow. Opponent missed a damage. Prioritize taking their lords out of play and using our mana here. No third land is good for the home team. Solid curve here for us. We get to go fetch land into Ceratops, fetch land into Korvold. Well, now we just play the Cauldron Familiar and ranch them, right? Good example of why the food deck is just so good against these creature decks. Especially ones like Merfolk that don't have any hard removal for Mayhem Devil. We just get to like sit here and do our thing, basically. I think that draw officially makes us the bad guy. No, this draw makes us the bad guy, Langton. I'm the bad man. Goodbye, friends. Play another land that's a forked bolt. It's very, very gross. This deck is as good against the creatures deck as it is bad against the Jeskai decks. Of course we're numbers gamers, Breadboxer. This is a try-hard, super serious stream. That being said, I don't feel like playing against Jeskai control, so I'm going to concede. Maybe they're playing elementals. Let's bring a Phyrexian Tower, not a black land's a little awkward. A gang of hippies. Thanks for the follow. Well, I mean, we could technically play this Mayhem Devil, but it seems like not a good choice. I think I'm just passing. Probably just make a food here. So Den of the Bugbear would imply not a mirror. Maybe they're an aggressive deck with Gilded Goose's extra ramp. Could see that. Maybe when Wizards was programming Historic Horizons, they accidentally made the perpetually mechanic apply to Arena Bugs too. So I think we just binding the Kiora at this point.
You feel like fighting anyway.
Because chapter 2 on this will fetch us up a land, which is nice. They got the idea of the perpetual mechanic from Wall of Roots on Mono. Come on now. Wall of Roots has only been bugged for 5 years on Magic Online. It's a very complicated issue. I'm sure they'll get around to it soon. The goose was sacrificed to Phyrexian Tower. Yeah, only 5. Time flies when you're having fun, chat. Rude. Rude. I wanted a Death Touch Mayhem Devil next turn, chat.
Stop, drop, and roll won't help you, buddy.
No sack to the Phyrexian Tower. What does sacking it to the tower do for me? Like, did I want a Fatal Push? I don't think I want a Fatal Push this Pyromancer. Oh, it triggers to finish the Chandra. Good shout. I didn't take the good play because I missed it, chat.
Yup, you're going down.
Well, alrighty then. Well, shoot. Yeah, looks like red-green land destruction on the opponent's side. They're gonna fire up the Bugbear or play Seasoned Pyromancer here.
Oh, today's my lucky day.
Hey chat, look, they didn't use their stone ring, so it was better off just being a shock. Funny how that works. I think I want to block this, and then we'll sack this for mana, draw a card, Fatal Push the Den of the Bugbear. Take 4 down to 4. We stone raid them. We did, didn't we? Who's the Ponza deck now, opponent?
Here.
We're just dead, right? Well, we did draw a spell. So I can Wellspring, sack it to tower, and then if we draw a... Yeah, do I sack Korvold to the tower? I guess I guess if I'm gonna sack the Korvold and not the Wellspring, I should do that first, because then I could have played this and sacrificed a land to get another draw. That's probably what should have happened there. Thoughtseize seems pretty mediocre. Klothys makes mana. It is also just a threat that's hard to remove. Rest of this seems fine. So 23 months, 40 deuce. Welcome back. The noise is finally gone. What noise? They had a second Chandra in hand, so I don't know that it really mattered. They would have had an opportunity to cast. Oh, yeah, I don't even notice Magic Arena bugs. There's so many different... Just like zone them out. Thanks for the 5 months, FGC. Welcome back. So you sacrifice an artifact or creature. Friendo. I was just gonna get my 1 free point of damage, chat, and then draw Wellspring here, but we take those. Makes up for our missing the onboard tower devil last game. Always want to make blue mana when you use Goose to sacrifice a food, because you're casting Sleight of Hand, so you need blue mana to cast Sleight of Hand. PVD, thank you for the 2 years of support. Welcome back. Wow, they took my squirrel, chat. What squirrel ever do to you, opponent? Huh? Okay, that's great. That lets me kill the Acronin War before the final chapter pops off, so I get my thing back and they live. My cats live. Rewind the tape, you'll see what the squirrel did. Okay, fair. Harsh, but fair. Leave my kitties alone! The geese didn't have a choice, chat. It was forced into this life of violence against its will. They have a stomp or something here as well to finish the squirrel. Nope. Nope. You get to gain a little bit of life with the Klothys, which is fine. We still got two big scaries in play. Oh no, not a Rune Blaster. So they're dead to this Mayhem Devil. Well, they're just dead on board because this is going to trigger. For all of you Paper Boomer Commander players out there, my Twitter timeline is telling me that Golos the Tireless Pilgrim has been banned in that format. But I'd assume since that's the only card listed as banned, things like Soul Ring and Mana Crypt or whatever are still legal, which always makes me chuckle. And for reference, for people who aren't boomers, that does not apply to Magic Arena. Brawl still has Golos in it. And I assume matchmaking is still broken. I really wish they'd fix matchmaking, because I'd honestly like to play some Brawl again on stream, but I'm not playing it while the matchmaking doesn't work. What is not working about it? It's off. It doesn't exist right now. So for people that aren't familiar, Brawl on Arena has deck strength matchmaking, meaning it's supposed to try and pair sweaty tryhard commanders like Winota and Omnath and Golos into other sweaty tryhard commanders. And since the server backend update, it's just not been doing that. The feature is off. Glory banger. They're gonna bang my goose, chat. My goose is cooked. Thank us, Stu. Thanks for the 34 months. Welcome back. Okay, they don't have a ton of pressure here, which is good for us. You have to like drop Trail of Crumbs, drop Cauldron Familiar. And then we can start using Trail of Crumbs next turn to dig for a binding to answer the Glory Banger. Oven would also be a good pickup, so we can start looping the cat to get even deeper into our deck. You can see a layer of the Hydra Fire up here. Would love to chump block with my Kit Kat. Meow. We just replay the goose. They want a Glory Bringer eat my goose again. That's fine with me. It buys me a lot of time in terms of making a food and making the Glory Bringer exert. Second Glory Bringer is going to be pretty difficult to race here. They ever acknowledge the matchmaker issue? There was a comment from a person who had a Thoughtseize staff hashtag on Twitter at one point. But other than that one random miscellaneous tweet, I don't believe they've acknowledged it. I think the Merfolk deck is super reasonable. You can find my preferred build of Merfolk on my website. There's also a couple videos on YouTube at this point. This is where the Magic the Gathering happens, chat. Right here on your screen. Need a good draw next turn. Where are my dragons at, chat? Where's a Korvold when you need one? Oh, it was acknowledged in Reddit as the list of bugs we know about but aren't getting fixed next patch. Good beats. Good beats. If I play Mayhem Devil, we could sack cat to tower and then sack food, bring cat back, but that's still only 2. I think I'm just supposed to sack cat for mana here. And then loop the food to leave myself the most mana after I Trail of Crumbs. We're going to play this deck for probably another half hour or so. Yeah. Unfortunate here. Trail of Crumbs has been real meh. It's just like, I feel like Trail of Crumbs lets us see a bunch of cards, and they all always suck. We're gonna vote for decks to build. People already voted for which decks we were gonna be building with their wallets. You can find a list of decks that we're gonna be tackling on my on the stream queue on my website. I am not going to profess to know the intricacies of whether the Collected Company version is better or worse. Metalix, thanks for the follow. I mean, we're technically not dead on board next turn, right? So I think we do this and we get a loop in. And I think we probably do this now. So that way, if we draw a Gilded Goose, we can cast it. I don't have enough experience with this archetype to know if Woe Strider is worth playing or not. So I don't have an opinion on it. We've played like 3 matches. Defer to the expertise of the people that have spent a lot of time playing the deck. Took us so long to find the cat loop this game. Could we have killed the unexerted Glorybringer? No, that's why I didn't do it. Did you? If you saw a way how to get 2 more devil triggers on that board, please explain, because I didn't see a way to. And in general, instead of asking me, Jeff, why didn't we do this thing? Instead, tell me how to do it and why it's a good idea. Please and thank you. Well... I'm not dead yet. Well, I mean, like, you're not telling me how to drive the deck. You're telling me, could we take game action? So, like, we did not have game actions that allowed us to do that. No. We could have used Passage and the Tower for 2 more picks. Okay, I'm going to give you a timeout so you can go back and check the tape and see that I had to play a red source that turn in order to cast the fucking devil. So no, I couldn't have used the Fabled Passage because I'm not allowed to play 2 lands in a turn. I didn't play the second oven because I need to eat this food to survive the attack from the Glorybringer, and I want to be able to pay 1 when I do this to use Trail of Crumbs because we really need to find a Korvold or a Binding. It would have worked in paper, yeah. Man, that was one of the worst feeling games of Magic I've played in a long time. Like, we saw so many cards this game. Like what? We bottomed, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we saw double. So we looked at 14 extra cards. And it took us this long to find a binding, and then they top decked a burn spell on us after top decking running dragons. Sure, but like if you thought we had a land play as well, like explain that, and then I could just tell you that that's wrong, right? Like again, stop putting the onus on me to dictate to you why your suggestion is bad. Instead, tell me why your suggestion is good, and we can talk about it. Thanks for the 2 months, Bobby. Welcome back. No, I timed them out because we're done talking about it. Man, my body is ready for them to Ugin us. I don't think we can ever beat that card. Them using their Prismari command before we play out Oven is pretty good for us here. They might not be an Ugin deck. Yeah, maybe. I think Ugin's like the best thing you could be doing at the top end of these blue-red decks that ramp a little bit. Listen, chat, I would like the record to reflect that I am not the bad guy here. They are very clearly the one who chose to register memory lapse. Yikes. Well, at least there's plenty of food for Korvold to dumb line here. Having some solid wrong half problem here with fatal pushes. Maybe we'll get to kill this Den of the Bugbear at some point.
Let's start at the sizzle and see if you make it to the inferno.
Oh, you know what? Am I supposed to fatal push that? Maybe I am just supposed to spend a fatal push on that. So it goes to the bin instead of exile. Really unfortunate we didn't draw an untapped land here. Because if we drew an untapped land, we would have gotten to cast Korvold and then eat the binding. Thanks for the 43 months, Frenzied Mage. Good morning and welcome back. There's a lot of new cards to see. Opponent has seen infinitely more cards than us here. Okay, we'll take this line this time. We missed it last time. We'll take this line this time. I'm excited for Korvold to get memory lapsed into oblivion. Are they about to reach into the fridge and take some of my food here? That would be real rude. Hey, Felix Ray, thanks for the follow. Good morning. Hey, thanks for the bits. That's super generous. Happy Monday to you. Hey, they left our food alone. It's the little things, Chip. Okay, we have the potential to draw, you know. I'm gonna choose to live in a world where this Korvold could resolve, Chip. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I think I'm gonna draw this spell again. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Yeah, I'm not gonna fatal push this because I want to redraw the Korvold here. Alright, second verse, same as the first, a little bit louder and a whole lot worse. Okay, now in response to this trigger, I want to put Cauldron Familiar into play, sacrificing the food so we draw a card from the food sacrifice. And then we'll sacrifice the Cauldron Familiar to Korvold's trigger so we can sacrifice another food to bring it back again. It's very, very fancy. What are spells? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Now, we really don't have a hard time triggering Revolt 2-Mos. Our deck is pretty revolting on average. I should probably wait to bring the cap back since I was tapped out anyways. Well, shit. Card's got a green animation at least. They did rain down. We took a Brash Taunter earlier for those that missed it. So like they're just doing like Taunter deal 20 things, just kinda guess. I thought the meteors killed the dinosaurs, not the dragon shit. You need a flavor judge ruling on that. Yeah, I don't know that we can beat this card, huh? I will say that having played the other side of matchups like this before, like, obviously Star of Extinction Brash Taunter is great, but just, like, the Ugin aspect of their deck is very bad for us. Yeah, I'm just gonna take a mulligan on the matchup. See if we can find ourselves a Collected Company deck to play against. I think even without the memory lapses, their deck's probably fairly polarized in terms of being favored against us. They're both ancient monsters with scales. The flavor judge says it's fine. All right. I mean, you're not wrong. Oh, this hand just doesn't really do anything, right? I have to, like, fetch a swamp, and then I don't get to cast a spell till turn 2. This looks marginally better. Man, the artwork on Ravenous Squirrel, just like the human hands and the snake. The artwork is definitely a mood on this card. The last deck we just played against Zadi is not an established deck in the format. As far as how Jeskai has developed, Jeskai creativity has largely been pushed out of the format in favor of... Look at that. Rewarded for making this our second land drop. In favor of just traditional Jeskai control. That being said, even regular Jeskai control is a very strong favorite against what we're doing. Our archetype that we're playing is basically uniquely positioned to beat up on the creature decks in the format, and it tends to struggle against most other things that aren't playing to the board very, very aggressively. Just got magic missile, chat. I cast magic missile into the darkness. Push her off a cliff, and then we'll Binding this Storko, and then we'll draw an untapped land like a professional and play a game of Magic next turn. Yes, mono red aggro madness has been going around, although this build in particular is like Obosh, it looks like. Yikes. One pathway, please. Kitty cat. Alright, I mean... There were definitely worse draws there. Worse draws certainly existed. Is that lethal?
Anyone need a fire started?
Smells kind of lethal. Not dead. this turn, but I think we're in that can no longer come back portion of the game. We can bring the cat back to survive, but there's just no draws in my deck that bring us back in the game there. Klothys as a way to sit there and generate health every turn and deal a little bit of damage. There's also a chance that Mana Gorger Phoenix is something they're playing, so having a little bit of incidental graveyard hate seems fine. I don't want these Thoughtseizes. I want more cards that play to the board. So they have plenty of little things, so Claim the Firstborn's probably fine. Binding's probably a touch slow. Maybe from a Trail of Crumbs. 6 pieces of card advantage seems like plenty. Oh, Phoenix is even. You're right. They're Obosh. The non-Obosh builds are playing Phoenix. Phoenix being even, so not being here is a good shout. That's true. They do still have Delirium cards that leverage their graveyard. And honestly, even without a graveyard, I think just like the incidental life gain off of Klothys is good enough to be here. But yeah, it is so worth calling out. They do have things that use the graveyard. Okay. Okie doke. Okie dokie, artichoke. Might just play this on 2. I guess it depends on if something ends up in the graveyard. There's nothing in the graveyard. There's not a big incentive to play that out right away. Let's just go tapped land Ravenous Squirrel. I explicitly ignore other deck list posts until I go through and do my first batch of deck building sloth. And then, if I'm being honest, I'll probably largely ignore them until after we have the first tournament or 2. So I don't have anything in the bin still, but I kind of just want to use my mana. I don't really want a Binding of the Old Gods, a Blazing Root Walla. What if I block here to stop them from playing Bone Crusher Giant for the turn? Yeah, standard looks great, Krubbish. The current standard 22 queue, even before we get Innistrad, is a lot of fun. It just isn't a best of 3 queue, so I've kind of put it on the back burner. We played a bunch of regular standard 22, even though it was best of 1. That's just after a while, I can only take so much best of 1 Magic. It's just not the way I enjoy playing the game. Best of 1 removes a lot of the strategical elements that give Magic the depth that I enjoy. Nothing against people that like it, but it just lacks the decision making that I play Magic to experience. I think, and I want to prefix with what I'm about to say with, I don't think best of 1 Magic is skillless. All Magic has some amount of important decisions to make. That being said, in my opinion, the most skill testing parts of Magic the Gathering are sideboarding and mulliganing when you know what your opponent is playing, and best of one Magic doesn't let you do either of those things. I think those two things are the most interesting and skill testing parts of playing Magic, and best of one just doesn't have either of those. Hey, Pyromancer, thanks for the 17 months. We have you in Historic now. Yeah, and that's even before you get into, like, matchup polarization type stuff. One of the nice things about this matchup is because my opponent's on Obosh, we know we don't have to play around Cleave. P. Mason, thanks for the 27 months. So, something that I've talked about that I would really enjoy personally is I would like to see a Game 3 queue for Magic Arena. And basically what it would be is when you queue up against someone, it would show you just the list of spells, not the number of each of those spells, but just the list of spells in both players' decks. And then you would sideboard and play one game. So it's still a one game set. You would just have a very short prep phase, basically. And that would let players make good mulliganing decisions, and it would let you mitigate kind of that variance that we frequently see. Yeah, honestly, I think a format like that would be good in basically any card game. It would also solve my issues with Runeterra too. I agree. Yeah, I think a lot of people that play Best of One in Arena aren't necessarily doing it because they don't like sideboarding. They're doing it because of time constraints. Just gonna trade with this Rootwalla. We basically just want to take as many trades as we can get here, because the Klothys is slowly killing them. Runeterra does best of 3 with multiple decks and bans. Which is fine. It's just not as interesting as sideboarding, in my opinion. It also means if you're someone like me that likes to like have one deck, like when I play tournament for card games, I like to like have one deck and learn the insides and outs of it, and multi-deck just doesn't do that conducively. We might just lose this race, huh? Need to draw another spell. So far, most of this set has just been me flooding out and dying. Well, I mean, I technically have a redraw here. Unbanned Twin! Redeeming our 43rd Shillionaire, and they say the trickle-down economy doesn't work. Thanks for watching a ton over the course of the last while. I appreciate it. Okay, so the cat means that if I live here, they're dead to Klothys next turn, so I'm gonna take the cat. Dear opponent, please don't kill me. Remember, for Shillionaire, you get to submit a deck. You could submit a build around if you want. You can use the form on the site to do that. All right, despite the torrential downpour, we made it through that one. Obosh does, in fact, double their Frosted on trigger to themselves. Why is Shillionaire less than 1,000,000 points? Because with the trickle-down Shillonomics, every time someone achieves Shillionaire, it becomes easier for the next Shillionaire to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and also achieve the status. So the first Shillionaire had to work extra hard, so those of you at home don't have to. And clearly the system works. We're up to 43 Shillionaires. Don't doubt the system, chat. It's working. Cajun Guy, thank you for the 38 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. It doesn't matter, Twin. Just put it in your comment. That seems fine. It's got all our colors of mana. It's got some early interaction. This can block this, which is nice. Do I block or do I Fatal Push? I think I want to hold the Fatal Push because they showed us Ferocitodon. But I'm loose with my monies. Honestly, if you don't think it's possible for you to achieve Shillionaire status, you should consider eating less avocado toast. And then maybe you would get there like a responsible adult. Maybe I'm supposed to push the Chandler proactively here with the second push draw. Oh, that's totally it. I should say you should stop it with the avocado votes. Because that is really what keeps people from getting Shillionaire. So it's just topical and accurate. But I love my avocado votes, Jeff. Let's knock this one off a cliff. Wow, nothing here is great for us. Love me some nothing. I think the cat's just gonna chill in the bin here in case we draw a devil or a, How do you get more shillings? You acquire shillings by watching the channel. Once per month, you can get a small amount of bonus shillings by gifting one sub or cheering at least 50 bits as well, but you cannot just outright buy them in general. You also accrue more channel points from streaks, so watching multiple streams in a row gives you additional channel points. I believe if you click more details on the channel points button, it describes how the system works. I assume this is gonna die before it can block the lizard, but... Ooh, good tradesies, good tradesies. I think I'm supposed to just burn my Fatal Push here. Getting my bonus shillings. Thanks for the biddy, Skunky. Immediately punished for pulling the trigger on the Fatal Push. This deck really doesn't like me, chat. It's just actually been every single game. Just a constant deluge. Alright, I'm gonna call it. Man, this set actually felt... I think this is the worst a tier 1 deck has ever felt when I've played it. Like, yeah. And I guess part of that could be contributed to running a little bit bad, but I think another part of it too is the feels bad there is largely related to the average polarization that you experience with this deck. I don't remember. Like, if you look at the Meta Monday report that we posted this morning that's up on YouTube now, this was the second most popular archetype this weekend, but it had a bunch of 60-40 matchups, right? Like you're good into the collected company decks, and if they're not a collected company deck, you're generally having a bad time. Like you get stuffed by Jeskai control, you get stuffed by things with Ugin. So like there's not a lot of middle ground close games. You're either like aggressively stuffing people or getting stuffed aggressively, and we had a lot of the latter happen here during that set. So